Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it's time for my client Gustov's vlog. And as you guys can see, again, his programming is very, very basic. It's just a 4-day split where I adjust exercises based on what he feels, or if they're not working right or they get uncomfortable for overuse. But also I want to apologize. I had a little bit of problem with my software not liking the bench press footage, and I didn't want to re-download it. So I pulled it out. It's okay. He started with bench press. So keeping in mind, he's a younger guy. And by younger, I'm talking like 20. So probably my youngest client at the moment. I think he actually is the youngest client I currently have on Team Blaha. So in his case, though, he is chasing hypertrophy. He's like, I just want a better physique. I want a drug-free and more impressive physique. I'm willing to put in the work, do whatever it takes to get there in terms of the training. He's like, you tell me what to do, I'll do it. And he pretty much does. I get a little feedback, though, if certain exercises don't feel right. But the thing is that I've noticed with him, we don't get ego lifting. Like, that's kind of one of the interesting things. And that's actually refreshing with clients in this age range. Like, men under 25 will ego lift, and sometimes you have to continually argue with them and stop them. Like, they won't listen. He doesn't ego lift. Like, he'll train hard. He's like, okay, you tell me to take a set to failure, I'll take it to failure, but he'll use good form. So it's one of those things that I do really like with this client. I like this with Gustov. Because you guys can see he controls everything, right? There's no swinging around, there's no nonsense, and he'll take sets to failure. And that's what I want. So we started off obviously with the bench press. So we do bench press and we do incline bench press. Then for his third chest exercise, I do dumbbell decline, right? A good finisher, right? That's what we want. We want a nice solid finisher for the chest. And then we do press downs. So for those curious who are like, is this enough tricep work? Yes, in the case of a lifter who has a relatively balanced physique, he doesn't have a problem with his arms, right? Notice his arms relative to his physique are pretty good. He's got pretty good triceps, actually, all things considered. I don't have to just destroy those muscles, right? It's not necessary. 3 really good sets hitting the areas you don't get hit with the presses. Keeping in mind, he does 3 different pressing exercises, okay? There, and then also keeping in mind, we get to the shoulder day, we get extra arm work again because of upright rows, overhead pressing. So this stuff's getting re-hit a little bit. So in his case, I only need 1 isolation for any of those muscles. It's just not necessary, right? We don't have to have it because he's not lagging in those areas. And so then we get to his pull day, and it's the same thing. I do 3 exercises for his back that will obviously hit biceps as a secondary, and then we do curls. Again, a very straightforward. And yes, it's enough volume. You know, a lot of times people will say, is this enough volume? Yeah, it's 9 sets for chest, 9 sets for lats, and then we have isolation for the arms after. But people need to also keep in mind, that's actually a fair amount of work. It's enough for most people. It's not necessary to do 14, 15 sets for most people. It's just not, right? Keeping in mind there's overlap in all this. Okay, you've got to remember too, we come in and do all of this lat work. We do all this delt work later. Okay, there's secondary carryover again to all these muscles. So what we're doing here, he was having a lot of nausea with barbell rows. He's like, I'm puking. I ran to the bathroom and puked. They're making me sick. I don't want to puss out, but they're making me sick. So I took him out. I'm like, look, let's just do cable rows. We're doing weighted pull-ups already. So who cares? If he can handle weighted pull-ups, right? He can handle weighted pull-ups, and then we're good. So it's like we can just do cable rows for that first row. And then I have him do these because, again, don't want him getting nauseated with that. And it's not like he pushes out. We do a lot of standing work already. We do overhead pressing, we do squats, and we do deadlifts every single week. So perfectly fine with that. Perfectly fine. So we do the chest-supported incline rows with the dumbbells, and then we finish up with a barbell curl, right? We just do some nice solid barbell curls to failure. I have him, he does fairly high reps on these because I tell him to do them to failure, and he keeps going, and he's just like, okay, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna get to failure. But then he's kind of doing that rest pause. I'm like, oh, we don't have to do all that, but you know what? It's fine. He's an intermediate. I don't mind a little bit of rest pausing, especially if that's what he needs to work hard. I always tell people some of the intensity techniques are useless for advanced lifters, especially if they're not on drugs. He's an intermediate still. He still has some fibers that'll grow from that. So there we go. He's like, all right, he reached failure. It's like, okay, he had to cheat on that last rep. All right, so that was his pull day. All right, shoulder day. We start with the overhead press. Notice the same thing. Nice, smooth, clean form, full range of motion, right? Need to do a physique update for him. His back and everything is looking a lot better. I need to make sure he's okay with me publishing any of that at some point. So I'll get with him and ask. I never post stuff like that without a client's permission. So again, overhead press. Nice, solid, clean reps right there. You can tell he's starting to grind. It's like, that's it. Didn't have much left. All right, failure. All right, then we do upright rows. And then we do some lateral raises, right? Upright rows, lateral raises. And his reps get pretty high. It's like I prescribe him some of these weights, and then these reps start getting really up there. He just keeps getting stronger. So it's kind of like I'm wanting him to hit certain reps, and I look up and he's like getting 15, 16 reps on some of this stuff when I just added weight. But he's not cheating, so it's all good. So it's kind of like you look at that as a coach and go, okay, we're just getting stronger all the time. Right? He just keeps getting stronger, keeps getting stronger. So again, I have to be happy with that, you know? So it's like those upright rows. I'm looking at the notes. He had 17 reps on the first. I'm like, oh, I got to add weight. Come on. Right? We got to add weight. It's getting way, way, way too many reps. So, but it's because he's just gaining strength. Same thing, all these laterals, I've got him this weight prescribed, and it's like I'm looking this week, everything was 20 plus reps. Like, okay, I gotta add some weight here. Because again, it's all strict reps. It's all strict reps. So again, as a coach, what does this tell us? And if this is any of you out there watching, he's making really good gains, right? When I'm giving him all these exercises and all of a sudden we're hitting 17 reps, 22 reps, stuff like that. It's like, these are exercises we've been progressing on. So that's the reps he's reaching. I'm happy with that. All right, the squats, a little bit problematic this week. So, I mean, we talked about it, and I sent him some of my videos on really getting that grip set in. Notice that arm kind of doing that. He's like, Coach, you increased weight on me. I'm struggling to keep the elbows down. It's like, okay, well, we got to work on that. So he's obviously doing a high bar squat, so keep that in mind. So the form degrades a little on his squats, but again, he's a slightly taller guy. I got him doing high bars, and he's not locked in as tight as I'd like because I threw him a new weight. He's not used to this weight. So I've been adding weight on him to get those reps down. And this is a little more weight than he's used to, and it's on a high bar. So he's like, man, what are you doing, Coach? This is hard. But he got it done. He got it done. All right, deadlifts, we've been working on the form a little bit. I'm trying to get him to reset. There we go. Good, good, good. That's what I want to see. Notice that reset on every rep. So some of it we weren't having that early on. Now we're getting it. I want him to stay tight, re-wedge in, push on those deadlifts, right? All right, and then for the final two other leg exercises, we do leg presses, and then we do leg curls. Okay, leg presses and leg curls. It's also about time to start adding some calf work and other stuff for him, right? I think we're getting about to that point. We've done these other movements, but we do need those calves to grow. So I've had him enough weeks now. I've had him a few months. It's time to start bumping some other stuff in, right? Adding more accessories to what he does. So I'm probably going to add some calf work and other things this week coming up. And then you guys will see his leg curls. So I hope it's been informative. And I will talk to you guys and gals next time.